Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Sadie and Friends. Before we kick it off, I just want to thank an amazing sponsor. I have to tell you about Garage Door Service and Sales, a sponsor that I have been doing endorsements for, oh my gosh, close to 20 years now.
You're old. Just be old.
Close to 20 years. And when I started working with them, they had been in business for decades, for generations. You know that you're not in business for that long unless you're taking care of your customers. And no matter what you're looking for, maybe you got just a broken spring and it's just, or maybe it's really loud. Also, do you know that technology these days is amazing when it comes to garage doors? It will alert you on an app on your phone if you leave your garage door open. So you ever get up in the morning and you go and you look and my God, the garage door's been open all night and thank God the bikes are still here and thank God we weren't murdered in the night, like on Dateline.
Maybe Dateline will do a story on us, huh?
That's a horrifying thing to think about and you don't want to have to worry about that. So get this technology where it will send you a message saying your garage door is open. Even better, say you're laying in bed, you're nice and warm, you're comfortable. All you have to do is push a button and it's going to close it for you. Say that you're in another country. Say you're in Fiji on vacation and the garage door's open. You push a button in Fiji and right here in Colorado, it's going to be going down. How great is that? Garage Door Service and Sales. We're in the future now, baby. GarageDoorServiceandSales.com. Garage Door Service and Sales, a proud sponsor of the Sadie and Friends podcast.
I'm going to say the thing you're not supposed to say.
Let's talk about marriage.
They have like a 2-second rebound rate and you're back doing the next pain in the ass thing.
Parenting. Oh my gosh.
They have sucked the pretty right out of me. They treat me like it, and I do their laundry. Lucky me.
Sex.
I'm caught between two evils. I generally like to take the one I never tried.
Scary stuff like ghosts. I know it's totally out of left field, but just go with me on this.
Boo, you whore.
Love.
I give you what you need. That's all. I'm talking about taking care of each other the best you can. What's wrong with taking care of a woman? She takes care of you.
Friendships.
Wink and her necklace says best friends forever.
Actually, you want it to say forever? I don't think you guys will be best friends forever, no offense. But sometimes you grow apart, and maybe she'll find a new best friend. They end up doing everything together.
Thank you for joining us for a new episode of Sadie and Friends. All you have to do is click that automatic download, subscribe, or maybe comment. I'm really trying to become way better at this because there are lots of podcasts that I follow that I don't have set to automatic download. So I actually went through the other day and I set them all to automatic download. And just essentially what that does is it downloads it to your phone every time a new episode comes out. And so you are all set to go. And then if for some reason you're somewhere where there is no internet, you've got me, this calming voice. God, I'm not calming at all.
No, calm is not how I would describe you.
I wouldn't either, but yeah. I'm just saying if you don't have the internet, you'll automatically have these episodes banked. And we have now over 250 episodes, which is kind of incredible. So thank you to our sponsors. Thank you guys for listening. And I'm just going to jump into what I saw yesterday. And this just completely knocked me down because I thought, you've got to be kidding. The audacity of Casey Anthony. Ryan, do you remember Casey Anthony?
I do, because she makes me angry.
She makes me angry too. Casey Anthony, she was, in all fairness, found not guilty of the murder of her daughter, Kaylee Anthony, who was just a couple years old. And this happened back in 2008. And then she was in court until 2011. Now get this, posted on March 1st, Casey Anthony announced that she is going to be starting a Substack. And I don't know, what is a Substack? Do you know what that is?
Don't you like subscribing to like a newsletter or something?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So she's going to be starting this. She announced it on TikTok again. TikTok.
Tick-tack-tock.
Ticky-tack-a-tack. I'm getting old. She announced it on TikTok. And here is her announcement.
Today is Saturday, March 1st, 2025. This is my first of probably many recordings on a series that I'm starting. I am a legal advocate. I am a researcher. I've been in the legal field since 2011. And in this capacity, I feel that it's necessary, if I'm going to continue to operate appropriately as a legal advocate, that I start to advocate for myself and also advocate for my daughter. For those of you who don't know, my name is Casey Anthony. My daughter is Kaylee Anthony. My parents are George and Cindy Anthony. This is not about them. This is not in response to anything that they have said or done. That's not to say that I'm not going to respond at some point to some of the things that they have said and done. The whole point of this is for me to begin to reintroduce myself. I'm doing this both personally for me, but in a professional capacity. Moving forward, the majority of what you will see will be me speaking in a professional capacity. My goal is to continue to help give a voice to people, to give people tools and resources that they can utilize so they actually know where they can turn to. So with that, please join me on Substack. If you have questions, I will set up an email address where we can correspond directly. Up until this point, that has never happened. And it's only going to be on a limited basis regarding legal issues, legal matters. One of the main reasons that I'm doing this, there are people close to me who have been targeted and attacked recently. There are also people close to me who have had some recent things occur. And when necessary, people needed to step up, myself included. So as a proponent for the LGBTQ community, for our legal community, women's rights, I feel that it's important that I use this platform that was thrust upon me and now look at as a blessing as opposed to the curse that it has been since 2008.
How weird is I'm just reading what she said. So she says she's a legal advocate. She's a researcher.
Okay. All right. So not to go into the whole Casey Anthony thing of all the details, but essentially she had a little girl. The little girl passed. They couldn't find her. And everyone, apparently besides a couple of jurors, suspect that she did it.
Yeah. And she lied about so many different things. And then she came out and she blamed her parents, George and Cindy Anthony. And she said that it was their fault. She said that the little girl accidentally drowned in their pool. So they went and buried her out in the woods. It was a horrific, what a cute, sweet little girl. And what's so awful about it as well is I remember the parents saying, we would have taken this little girl and raised her. If you didn't want her, then you could have just given her to us. So it's incredibly sad. And I don't know, it just makes me sad. But now she came out on TikTok and she said that she's going to be advocating for people. Now, a judge has come out, the judge from her actual trial has come out and said, she clearly craves the spotlight.
Oh, yeah, go figure.
And she is clearly money hungry.
Yeah.
And then she goes into her announcement, which again, she released March 1st on TikTok. She says that as a proponent for the LGBT community, for the legal community, for women's rights, this just makes me want to slap the hell out of her. I feel it's important that I use the platform that has been thrust upon me. There is no platform that has been thrust upon you.
No, she's out there looking for the limelight. And dear God, sorry, anything that happens to a little kid, man, that just stays with you. And it just gets me all kinds of fired up and sad.
Ryan is the kind of person where if somebody speeds through our neighborhood, he will go stand outside and give this to
I'm the kind of person. No. I am that person. I literally did that because we have okay. All right. So hear me out. I've been wondering about this. Am I that get off my lawn guy? Because we have a person in our neighborhood and we live on the corner. So we have a stop sign right there. We always have kids playing all the time around this little area. And we have a person that speeds on our street and then doesn't stop at the stop sign. Now, slow down at the stop sign. Sure. But does not stop.
You're saying
it's the same person. Should I approach this person?
Oh my God, this is like the rant that's going on in our home right now because I am like, oh man, I don't know. I don't like to start things, but Ryan
preface with, we had in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
We had an incident,
little boy.
A little boy got hit on his bike and died.
Yeah.
Like
2 summers ago.
Yeah. A year and a half ago. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always with me. And then we have a bunch of little kids that are always crossing the street, going to each other's houses and doing all that stuff. I think I'm completely in line to just approach it and just not throw down the hammer, but be like, hi, excuse me. I've noticed that we've had some trouble stopping at the stop sign.
Yeah. And so what Ryan wants to do is he has identified the vehicle.
Oh, no.
And we actually have cameras. I'm like camera happy. I love having cameras everywhere.
Yeah, bring cameras. Right?
I just love that. And so I have cameras, and one of them is just pointed at the front street.
And you saw the video.
And Ryan was very astute. He found the video on Ring and he brought it to me and he's like, look at this. It's not even a California roll. It's just a straight up roll.
And this person does it. She does it every day. Every day she does it.
I know, at like the same time.
Yeah.
And so what Ryan wants to do is he wants to go find this car in the neighborhood.
Oh, no, I know where the car is.
And you want to what? Go up and yell at them?
What's appropriate to do in that situation?
I don't know what
we're talking about safety. Now imagine if the person in our neighborhood would have said something, had the ability to say, hey, in our neighborhood, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this.
Okay, wait, I have an idea.
Yes.
Why don't we get one of those little kid flag holder cutout things
and put it outside?
Like, please be safe. There are kids, and just put it right by the stop sign.
Right. And between 5:10 and 5:15 every day, go put it out there for this person.
No, I'm saying put it out there all the time. I think that you should keep it out there all the time, especially like you said, we're on a corner lot but I don't know. I do agree that it is like next level, really inappropriate driving because she not only cruises,
not even a teenager. This is an adult.
And we do have so many little kids, including Murphy, who's in the 2nd grade, and they're constantly running across the street back and forth to hang out at, our house and the other people's house. And so it's probably like about 7 or 8 kids just on our street that run back and forth,
which
all
is
day.
Exactly what you'd want. But we're not on a cul-de-sac. We're on a street, a neighborhood street. Nothing like there's cars flying by all the time. But I've been thinking about this. Probably consumes more of my day than I care to mention about what should I do, because I could very easily just get grumpier old men and be angry about it, or I could be extremely diplomatic about it.
I think to be diplomatic, we need to try putting the little kid sign up right next to it. So maybe it's a reminder of or maybe it's even like, hey, you're being watched. We bought this sign to kind of because you're being watched.
I could print out a giant photo of this car and put it up there and be like, I know it's you. And just hold it up there.
You could.
Put a big old stake up there. Yeah.
You could. One of my favorite comedians is
Nate Bargatze. I know where you're going.
Oh,
I know where you're going.
Well, a lot of people might not know where I'm going. And so I'm going to actually play the clip.
Sure.
So in our neighborhood, we live in a cul-de-sac, which is very exciting because I grew up on a straight street and I always dreamed of living in a cul-de-sac. You see them and you're like, can you imagine being up in one of those? We do all the cul-de-sac stuff, like if anybody comes down there, we're like, what are you doing down? Just any car, we're like, you better get out of our cul-de-sac.
Okay, that is completely me. I get it.
1,000%.
What are you doing? That is 100% me, but it's not on that I feel like I have the street as mine. I could care less. It's about
you could care less.
Oh,
didn't we just have this conversation?
I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less.
It.
Sorry, I couldn't care less. Intensive purposes, but sorry, it's kids.
Yeah.
And dear God, if you're just texting or speeding or blowing through stop sign when there's all these kids on roller skates and doing this and crossing streets,
then that's just really awful.
Yeah. So what do you do?
What step do one. We do?
All right. Step 1. A plastic flag kids are playing. Okay. Let's say she doesn't, I'm going to take this. Let's say she doesn't
stop.
She just keeps going through. Next step. What's acceptable?
I hate the confrontation part. Okay.
You can do confrontation, but not, I'm not going to go over there and bang on their door
down. Yeah. No, Ryan is really good. And I'm not this way because I get really Twitter pated, but Ryan will be super calm and cool. And he's really good about talking to people about this stuff. So I don't know if the plastic kid doesn't work, maybe put out another sign.
Just keep building signs have a fortress of signs until this person actually stops.
You know, what would be great is if the same person then called the HOA on us and said, they got all these signs, so many signs. But anyway.
But what should I do? Next up.
Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a video. I'm going to put it on our social media page across the platforms. And so whether you're going on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, you can actually let us know what you think under the video. What does he do? Because let me tell you, he's made it a point of being outside at the exact time this crazy lady drives through. And I am afraid one day he's going to chase her down and just be like, open the window. You're driving so fast. And but
is it appropriate? Is it appropriate to address it?
I think it is appropriate. Yeah. Because again, if something happened, you would feel horrible that you knew. And I think you got to address it. Yeah.
But how do I do it next? Tell me.
I don't know, because you said you're going to track down where the car goes.
I already know where the car goes.
So you want to just walk over and knock on the door?
No, I'm telling you what, if I did something, what's that next thing I should do after they don't stop for the sign?
I guess we won't know until we get the poll back from the people.
Oh, we're going to put up a poll. Ooh, let's put up a poll. And
that's what I said.
Which level should we take it to?
Yeah, I'll put up a poll. Anyway, back to Casey Anthony,
of course,
because this is a story that we're kind of going back to. And, you know, she jumped onto Twitter and she's charging people. Now, the reason why she's charging people is she says that she can give law advice. Now, there's a problem with that. And the problem is you can't give law advice unless you went to law school. And so this chick is going around saying, all you got to do is subscribe to my channel, give me a little bit of money, and I'm going to be talking about legal issues, and I will help people, because she said she was cursed. She was cursed with the death of her daughter, which I would agree that would be pretty awful. But it's not a curse if you did it yourself, you dumbass. Now, Anthony also announced that she's starting an email project. And so people can communicate her directly about legal matters. So she's going to be essentially on. So it's kind of like OnlyFans, only it's not sexual. It's just like, I'm going to help you with your, but you know what? In hindsight, she kind of got away with.
How did she get away with it? What was the thing?
I don't even know. I don't remember how she got away with it. I think she had just an amazing lawyer.
Because it's OJ level of guilt, right? I mean, the whole thing was like, how can you not how you should be convicted for this? Like, but she did end up getting acquitted. But everyone's 99.9% sure she did it.
And, you know, the thing about it is that, again, it happened in 2011 where they announced that she was not guilty. And then she went into hiding for like a really long time. Obviously, she couldn't go back to her parents because she threw them under the bus and said they did it. And so that's not a place you can run back to. And for a while, I heard that she was staying with some neighbors who had offered to let her live with them. And I thought, you know what? She's out of the spotlight. It's been over a decade. She's out of the spotlight. And so it says my computer's going to start in 55 seconds, restart. I don't want it to do that. And I hope it doesn't.
Can you save this?
Yes. That's it.
That's all. Casey Anthony, Gene Hackman.
I can't believe
fighting the man.
Listen, what if I told you? First, I want to ask you, how much do you love me?
To the end of the earth.
8 minutes of us talking and not getting it on recording to the end of the earth.
Like what time? When did you stop recording? Like now?
No, just now. I just started again. But we have that like 15 minutes from earlier, and then we just.
So that entire thing.
So here I go.
What do we even talk about?
Okay, so to close out the whole Casey Anthony thing, this is very reminiscent. This reminds me of Lucy from Charlie Brown.
Boy, are you stupid, Charlie Brown.
Where she has that little table and she's like 5 cents for advice. That's what Casey Anthony is doing, only she wants you to pay monthly for an email. I don't even know what this part of me, and I never would, part of me wants to see what you get. What do you get for your monthly subscription? That's what I kind of want to know. And so, but I would never give this chick money. I mean, this is the only reason. She's not doing it to help people. She's essentially doing it so she can make money. And there are some people who will pay her. I can't imagine a lot of people would, but I'm sure more people than, and you know what? I think it's kind of like an OnlyFans thing where I think people are going to be curious to see what she comes out with, because I mean, here's the deal. Just as somebody who does a podcast, I can tell you that it is a lot of work to reach people, and you have to keep up with it. You have to keep on it. It's blogging, it's video, it's social media, it's a million things. But then again, it's not like she can go out and just get a 9 to 5.
Has she been working since then?
I don't believe she has. I haven't. Again, I think she totally went dark after the verdict, which I thought good. I think that's what I would do. I would move far away and I would just never talk to anybody ever again.
Name change,
the whole nine, maybe even plastic surgery. She looks exactly the same. I mean, I'd at least cut my hair and dye it or something.
Yeah.
Because she's just one of those people where if I saw her.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Does she like the attention?
I think she does. Positive or negative attention, I think she gets off on it. Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Anyway, let's transition out of Casey Anthony and go into something a little bit more heartwarming. And that is what Morgan Freeman did at the Oscars for Gene Hackman. He gave like a little introduction during the part where they honor people who have died, the in memoriam. And it's just so sweet. So I'll play that right now, in case you missed it.
This week, our community lost a giant, and I lost a dear friend, Gene Hackman. I had the pleasure of working alongside Gene on 2 films, Unforgiven and Under Suspicion. And like everyone who's ever shared a scene with him, I learned he was a generous performer and a man whose gifts elevated everyone's work. He received 2 Oscars, but more importantly, he won the hearts of film lovers all over the world. Gene always said, "I don't think about legacy. I just hope people remember me as someone who tried to do good work." So I think I speak for us all when I say, Gene, you'll be remembered for that and for so much more. Rest in peace, my friend.
I feel like Gene Hackman was like one of the last true actors. You know what I mean? Like,
don't get me started on Gene. I freaking love Gene.
I know you do.
Don't get me started.
Well, but it's a good thing. I mean, I think that could you even imagine Gene Hackman having like a TikTok?
No. Gene Hackman literally was like, I'm done. I'm moving to Santa Fe. Bye.
Yeah.
And then didn't talk to anybody.
For like 20 years. He should have pulled a straight up Casey Anthony and just like Casey should have looked at him and been like, this is how I should live.
Yeah.
Because you're right. He disappeared so much so that about a year ago, there was a photo that was taken of he and his wife, Betsy, and I did not even recognize him.
Well, he was 95.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. He went so underground, so far underground, that when he came back out, I'm like, I don't know who this person is. Where's Gene Hackman? Is he behind this man?
Well, you're expecting Royal Tenenbaum.
I know.
Gene Hackman. And then 20 years more than that passed. And then it's him. You're like, oh, it doesn't look like Tenenbaum.
Well, I will say that there is no update. They're still doing an investigation. I hope this isn't one of those things where it's like, we never found out what happened, because it is so mysterious.
So Morgan Freeman came out and started talking about just the love that he had. And then you realize that he was talking about the movie they were in, which was in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Which was over 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And does it make you sad?
Yes, it makes me sad, because then I turn on the TV and I see people like, Jake Paul and people who got famous because they were on a trampoline with a motorbike and they drove it into a swimming pool. Like, I mean, it's just now to be famous it's Hawk Toe Girl, the girl that,
okay. Those are viral, whatever, but like movie stars, you know what I mean? I guess there's some up and coming movie stars that could make it like that. Like, I don't know who, but
but they all have to play this new game now that old Hollywood didn't have to play. And that is the social media game. I can't name one celebrity who is, younger, who is not on social media. That's such a pivotal part of
they're on social, but maybe they're not on it. Maybe the team is on it and whatnot. But like, who would be a good young actor that you could be like, oh, I could see them aging well and being a person.
You know who I think? And he just gave such a killer speech at some award show. I think it was the SAG Awards. He won a SAG Award and he gave a speech. And you know what?
Who?
I'll play it right now.
All right, well, thank you. I was not expecting this at all. I'll start by thanking my mother, who I'm here with tonight. She has been working at Actors Equity for 40 years, the stage union, and I'll quickly run through this. I know the classiest thing would be to downplay the effort that went into this role. I can't downplay the significance of this award because it means the most to me, and I know we're in a subjective business, but the truth is I'm really in pursuit of greatness. I know people don't usually talk like that, but I want to be one of the greats. I'm inspired by the greats. I'm inspired by the greats here tonight. I'm as inspired by Daniel Day-Lewis, Marlon Brando, and Viola Davis as I am by Michael Jordan and Michael Phelps, and I want to be up there. So I'm deeply grateful to that. This doesn't signify that, but it's a little more fuel. It's a little more ammo to keep going. Thank you so much.
I understand wanting to be the best. Nothing about that. I think you should aspire to be the best. I don't know what it is about that guy. I just can't. Like, what?
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. When it was announced that he was playing Bob Dylan, I thought, no way. But you look at him and he looked like Bob Dylan.
Here's the deal. I think he seems like a nice kid. I just can't get behind it. You know who I don't like, though? Speaking of people that played musicians, the dude who played Elvis.
Oh, I didn't like him at all. And that movie was so bad.
He gives just the creepiest vibes. I don't know why, but I feel like he gives creepy vibes.
Austin Butler.
Sure. Timothy Chalamet. I don't get creepy vibes from him. I'm just like, really? That's what we got now?
I think he's going to go far unless he has one of those like
40
insane
pounds soaking wet with a Kardashian.
You just can't stop. And that's a Jenner, not a Kardashian.
Same thing. Same thing.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. The best thing that you can do for the podcast is to help it grow by telling people about it, spreading the word about it, and also hitting automatic download. Send us a comment if there's anything that we've said that you agree with or disagree with. Let us know what you think. And again, spreading the word, best way you can help the podcast. Have a great day, and we will be back tomorrow. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Sadie and Friends. Want to thank the folks over at Polar Bear Plumbing, Heating, and Air, a wonderful sponsor on this show. I gravitate a lot towards local businesses who are owned by family because I understand the struggle. I grew up where my dad started his own concrete company. And so I get it. When you are owning your own business, this is hard work. And I love that it's like a family operation. They all work together. They all do something important to bring you a wonderful product. And that's their skills when it comes to your AC unit, when it comes to your furnace, or when it comes to something getting stuck in your toilet or your drain. If you're like me, I'm like Bigfoot. When I take a shower, it's like, I don't even know how I have hair left. Just bunches of hair just coming down. That happens constantly. And so you got to call my friends at Polar Bear Plumbing, Heating, and Air. I know that I have their information. It's hanging on my refrigerator so that if there's ever an issue, because that's another thing. Forget about the plumbing. I want to be comfortable when it comes to the temperature. We're about to be making a switch here, so don't get all comfortable because before you know it, it's going to be sweltering heat. And that's where you go and you go see my friends at Polar Bear Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Just go onto the website, polarbearpha.com. Polar Bear Plumbing, Heating, and Air, a proud sponsor of the Sadie and Friends podcast.